What's going on, guys? I thought I would pump my cold heart a little bit to get it a little warm. To kind of give you a heads up, if you're familiar, and I'm sure a lot of people are, with scams, usually you're used to robocalls or emails from a Nigerian prince, stuff like that. Or even trying to double check when you go pump gas, or if you're going to go check out a gas station, you always grab it and kind of shake it and see if it'll come apart. Don't rip it off, but, put a little pressure and see if it's wiggling. If it moves, it's probably bad. A lot of them have RFID readers. All it does is clone the information straight to the chip or whatever, or sends it off to the person that has it rigged. And it happened a lot at gas stations, quite a lot at gas stations actually. It's so prevalent that even here where I live, we had one happen on the other side of town, which luckily it wasn't on the side I usually go to. And then it was a couple of towns over, they found two of them at a gas pump. And it's almost suspicious that some of the people that actually own the gas pumps might be in on it. But that's a whole different story of tinfoil hat conversation I don't feel like having right now. But no, these masterminds have upgraded. And if you've ever used QR codes, yeah, you'd probably be in a little bit of danger. Now, this specific QR code was for, I think, parking. It's also used in, obviously, other areas. But it's usually to help make payments go by quicker. So, hey, I want to make a purchase, rent this parking spot. We'll just use that for example since I've already said it. But you just scan the QR code and get everything you need digitally, and boom, you're done. And you get to park. Well, apparently some said person is really smart and decided to clone the whole thing and make their own.
Go. Oh my god. So Lana, this is probably what happened to you. Fuckers. Absolute fuckers. So, hang on, what I want to do now is, okay, so I'm going to just do...
So, I know it seems pretty, obvious, like, oh yeah, that's obviously a sticker on there when you look at it. But if you're like in a hurry, and like I said, I think this is supposed to be a parking garage or a pay for parking type thing. If you're in a hurry trying to park or whatever it may be, you may be in a hurry, you're not going to pay attention, and you can just overlook it and just go, all right, I'm going to hurry and pay for this. And I assume they cloned the entire website and stuff, made it look very accurate to where nobody caught on for a while until I guess somebody realized maybe some extra funds were taken out of their bank account. So this is like quite literally very similar to the way people use, anything that uses a debit card at a gas station. Because when you leave it in there, it RFID reads. Well, if you're putting in a scan code, you're giving it permission to read your phone. And if you're using it to make payments, I'm pretty sure they can backtrack and get your debit card right off of that. A lot of people I know use their debit card directly with those scanners. And, I mean, they could be pretty problematic. I'm pretty sure there's some fail-safes somewhere, I'm assuming. But, for the common person that's not going to look into all that, you're going to be pretty much screwed because you're not going to go through all those fail-safes. A lot of normal people won't. A lot of this stuff is rehashed from different types of scams anyway. If you've watched Jim Browning or any of the other scam baiters that are out there, they will tell you time and time again how these scams work. Now, this is not an over-the-phone scam. This is not usually an old folks scam. Which, yeah, old folks will still fall for it because it's still fairly new payment processes, and they are going to be the worst at learning it. And I don't think it's so much them that they're going to have a problem with, as much as the younger generation. They're going to be very quick to use it, just like, okay, boom, bump, nope, done, and go on about your business, and realize that you just got your $1,000 that you may have saved up all year for just taken. And yes, to continue my rambling a little bit, to maybe understand what type of stuff this usually they do is kind of like a trial run. If you worked in any business, anything like that, and you try something new, you always trial run it to see if it's successful. They do nothing different as a criminal. Now, I found this out by watching a few of those, like I used to be a criminal videos or TV shows and documentaries and stuff. One of them was a counterfeiter, and he said how he ran across how to counterfeit, correctly. His trial and error literally went from trying to find paper that could pass a marker test. Now, I don't know if you know this, but unlike banks and higher-end places, normal little retail stores of like Dollar General, caliber, they don't do much checks beyond a marker check. And then this person ran across by accident, I think while marker checking, or I can't remember what he did, and he accidentally hit the phone book. Now he found out what paper it was made of, mass-produced that. So when he started printing all his counterfeits on that paper because it was so easy to run through. Now, like I said, they use, what you would call like a dry run or a trial run. And that was the first thing he did. He got him a couple bucks, like a couple dollars, something simple, small. He didn't go with big bills because usually dollar bills kind of go under the radar. But just in case, he wanted to make sure it had the same texture. If they would wipe it, whatever the reason, he can run the dollars. Then he did the 5s, then he did the 20s. Once the 20s started rolling out, they started checking some of them. And when they did, guess what? They would always check clear because they're just doing a marker check. They don't do the in-depth stuff. They don't put it up to the light 90% of the time. These are retail stores that pay pretty much bare minimum and almost out-of-date stock. So, I mean, I doubt they're really pinpointing every single counterfeit. But that's my point, is that these were trial ran. So they know that they're going to be successful. And it ran about $1 million. And that's what he did. He did very small businesses, and then he started doing bigger dollars, and that's how he did a bunch of his laundering for a long time. But that's how criminals think. So I'm sure that they did these trial runs for a while, and whatever country, if they've already not been doing it here, probably going to get more widespread. Now, I've been rambling on, and I may have already mentioned it, but the reason why I'm even speaking of this is because of my own ignorance. I did not know that this was a thing. Most of the stuff that you see with QR codes, I never fathomed that they would just run up and put a sticker on there. So I think the best course of action when you even see something that looks like it may have been stickered over, a lot of places will sticker their own stuff. So I'm sure they can get new QR codes printed and they would just put it over. But I would suggest you get with the owner, make sure it's legitimate, or tell them that they probably will lose business if they don't do a full reprint, because I think it's going to be a problem to have stickers over their own QR codes if, say, they do some update and they need to put new stickers out. Because they're going to see it in a lot of places. They do it all the time, say in, we'll just say GameStop. GameStop restickers their stuff all the time with new barcodes that would have the new dollars on them, whatever they were worth. So I'm sure it would be the same thing with QR codes. It would be a new QR code for maybe a new website or whatever it may be. The old URL could have been shut down. A bunch of different reasons. But if you see that, in the business that you're going to, you can't get to the business person, I would try to get to either leave and don't even use it, or I would try to contact maybe the local authorities. Don't call 911 like an idiot. Call the local authorities, let them know to investigate it, that it could be fraudulent or a scam. That'd be your smartest move, instead of testing it out and getting scammed anyway. That's just the new modern way of scamming people that are younger, is because they're not getting younger audiences as much as they are like old people. But a lot of younger people are probably not going to pay attention to this. Like I said, this is just coming from my own ignorance. I probably would have fell for it if I ever used QR codes. And I don't think I've ever used a QR code to make a payment. I remember there was a restaurant trying to use QR codes for their menus, and I told them, I want a real menu because my phone's crap, and I don't want to use my shitty phone to try to look this stuff up. Would you please just give me one? This phone, I can't remember what it was. It was literally held together by duct tape. It was that bad. But yeah, guys, that's all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.